Hello, how you guys doing? James here. I want to play a couple of videos. This time I'm going to focus on the young people. I'm going to show you some young people, what they've been doing. And it goes along with the video I have been showing about this past aggressive racism that's passing from generation to generation. Watch this video.
She doesn't know that I do all my shopping on TikTok Shop. The products are high quality and there's a 40% off discount.
Me clearly, America is not a racist country.
Ladies and gentlemen, here we go again. We got students spelling out the N word. And this happened in Idaho at a high school. You know, it is really true when they say we live in their head rent free. And it doesn't matter if they're young or old. It's all the same. We're always on their mind. For real. So, old enough to know right from wrong, teens at Idaho High School faced disciplinary action after disgusting picture of them with t-shirts spelling out the N-word hits the internet. 6 students from Salmon, this is a high school in Salmon, Idaho, are facing disciplinary measures after photographed t-shirts that spelled out the N-word. The photo, which was posted on Instagram on Tuesday, September 26, has since been deleted and detected the teens encircling a mixed race female student on the ground. Wow. White students were seen making obscene gestures, while the girl on the ground also raised her middle finger towards the others behind her. But see, when these same kids go to court, the judge is sitting there saying they're good kids, they just made a mistake. No, they're little demons. They're not good kids at all. So, according to Troy Easterday, the superintendent of Salmon High School, District 291, said the students were not maliciously trying to promote anti-black agenda. Yes, they were. If they were lined up spelling out the N-word on their t-shirts, that's exactly what they were doing. Troy Easterday. Okay, stop telling us what something isn't when we see it with our own eyes and hearing this, and we know what their agenda was. We know what the intention is because we see this sort of thing every single year. And y'all, this is just further proof. This is further proof your black child is not safe in these schools. This is proof of it right here. So, and Troy Easterday goes on to say, I am well aware of the current situation happening with a social media post by our Salmon School District students. At this time, the administrative team of the school district is investigating this post and will keep the community aware within the legal confines of the law. Easterday said in an interview with KTVB. Wow. Now they're spelling out the N-word, and Easterday here is trying to say it's not anti-black. Wow. He added that these type of situations are always taken seriously. Well, I don't know. When you start out by trying to defend these students by saying they were not being anti-black, and then you turn around and say we take this seriously, I can't even take Easter Day seriously. You're saying one thing, you're trying to lighten it all up, and then you're trying to tell us at the same time you're serious. Our team did not hesitate to act. We did all the right legal steps to make sure disciplinary action was taken, he said. He also took to Facebook to explain the district's position on the incident and what it seems to communicate to the public. Salmon, the school district, does not condone and has never condoned what was expressed on social media today. Disciplinary action has been taken, the superintendent stated. So what did you do? Just sit them down and talk to them, and then you want to act like you did something? That's nothing. So he also mentioned the district's administrative team is investigating the post and will keep the community informed within the bounds of the law regarding the incident. So Easter Day also noted in the video that it was posted at 7:40 a.m. on Wednesday, September 27th, that the district had contacted the police and board members to notify them of the incident. Some parents were outraged, especially those with children and family members of color. It's amazing. They weren't directing that insult at all people of color. They were doing that specifically to those children in the black community. The post is disgusting and amounts to a hate crime. I'm ashamed and embarrassed. My husband is one of 2, maybe 3 African Americans in this town. I'm afraid that if I speak out too much, it could affect my job or my small business, one woman told East Idaho News in an interview. So it sounds to me like the town you're in is very racist. One mother stated that she is considering withdrawing her children from the district, fearing that the children responsible for staging the racially offensive photo will go unpunished. Yeah, because usually they do. That's usually the norm. The reason there's hate in this community is because no one takes action, period, the mother said. These kids are old enough to know right from wrong. Parents need to do better, but you can't solely blame the parents for this, as some of them are 18. Okay, so some of the students in the photo are 18. They're adults. It's disturbing. Interesting. But yeah, they had no shame in putting it up on social media. We've seen this happen before, and I've done the stories before in the past. This virtually happens every single year, y'all. It does. Along with these high school and college students going in blackface. We see that every year as well. So I hope the parents of the children that were targeted, you do the right thing, do right by your kids, and stop sending them back to these racists behind school districts. Y'all tell me what you think about this video. This is a disgrace. Please leave your comment and subscribe.
Okay.
iShop.black. One-stop shop for your online buying and selling needs. Buying online should be easy, convenient, and affordable. Selling online should be easy, convenient, and affordable. A platform that connects Israelites, so-called African American, buyers and sellers. Shop the latest gadgets, trendy fashion, and unique collectibles. iShop.black showcases products of verified sellers. Launch your business online today. With fast and easy setup, free video training, and free technical support. Alone we may go faster, but together we go farther. IB Israel. Join us at iShop.black to start your free trial today. Contact us at info@ishop.black. www.ishop.black.
Introducing the African Diaspora News Channel app, your gateway to stories that's overlooked by the corporate mainstream media.
At African Diaspora News Channel, we cover stories that don't receive mainstream attention, and we serve as the voice to the global Black community. We are committed to informing and educating through the power of media, connecting the African diaspora one story at a time.
With our platform, we're helping to end injustice by exposing it.
Join us in standing for excellence in journalism and serving our community. Download the African Diaspora News app today.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining us on the platform tonight. Last night we was cut short by a tremendous weather that came through the Houston area. If you have seen some of the news that came out about the storms, it's some places that about up to 100-mile-an-hour winds, tornadoes, bust out a bunch of windows in downtown Houston, and there was plenty of videos of that. Trees, getting uprooted. It's so many different things that happen, almost like a hurricane came through here. Now, where I'm at particularly, my lights went out about 7:15 or so while we were live, and my lights stayed out maybe about a good 2 hours or so, and my lights came back. Now, there's some people in the Houston area, they said that they still don't have their lights. Some say maybe some days, go up to a week to get their lights back. So, hey, thank God we was one of the people that got our lights back in 2 hours. So there are people, I think 4 people died in this weather event. And definitely send our condolences to those people, and their families. But yeah, this stuff just come up all of a sudden. And yeah, it's that time of year, folks. It's definitely now here in Houston area that it's not even hurricane season, to the 1st or so? And then, on top of that, today, I'm pretty sure you probably saw all the stuff with Puffy, and I gotta do a whole live stream on Puffy. Not so much the video, but, we got this thing in our community, and I don't care about what other communities do. I'm talking about our community. We like to overlook things, and if you watch the live stream on our app, the African Diaspora News Channel app, and I was going through some of the stuff that Lil Rod said, and just kind of touching on some things that was in the Cassie lawsuit at the same time, the things that Cassie said, and now there's a video out that mirrors it verbatim, and yet a lot of people, not everybody, but a lot of people was out here trying to, where's your proof and all of that. Okay, now there's a proof, and like I said, I want to get into that, but maybe tomorrow, because I know everybody's jumping on it like flies on poop right now, and I'm gathering certain things that other people maybe not be paying attention to, and I just don't want to get involved with that lost in translation conversation. So, yeah, my next stream is definitely going to be about Puffy. You know, a couple of videos I had got that I'm like, that's an interesting video. Puffy been doing some things, right? But, yeah. Puffy, you know, and 50 been on Puffy head, y'all. 50 been on Puffy head. 50 then posted it. I mean, everybody is posting, you know, Puffy. And the interesting part is, everybody's been talking about, well, maybe some of you haven't been talking about this. Where's Jay-Z? Have y'all noticed Jay-Z has literally almost been in hiding since all this stuff is going on? You don't see Jay-Z nowhere. You don't see Jay-Z interviewing. You don't see Jay-Z saying a word about nothing. Like, where is Jay-Z? Now, Jaguar Wright, you know, people say she crazy, but she can't be that crazy because a lot of things she's been saying has been happening too, right? And she said that Jay-Z was worse. So, yeah, Cat Williams said at the beginning of the year, all these deviants, they about to get exposed. So, shout out to Cat Williams. Oh, yeah, you know. And see, that jab bad person, I'll address that, you know, in the next live stream. I won't get into that right now because I don't want this to deviate from what the topic is. All right. So, if you are interested in advertising here on African Diaspora News Channel, we'll play your ad before our live streams. You can definitely contact Kellen and he'll give you the sponsorship package for what that is. And if you're interested. Now, of course, you know, we got certain requirements, but Kellen will work with you on that. So let's go on and get to the devotional for today. You know, it is the 17th of May, and the reason why we're going to do this devotional is because this particular person got to turn in documents by the 20th to the federal court in Chicago, Illinois, and the person that's turning in got to stay until the court let them leave that day. So let's go on and get to that devotional real quick.
Y'all forget I am the leader. They want to hear from the mayor. If y'all ain't learned that yet. The mayor, not the trustees that don't do nothing. That only run their mouth. Y'all don't do no work. No work.
What is that?
Okay. Y'all should be ashamed of y'all stuff. Y'all black. Y'all are black. And y'all sitting up here beating and attacking on a black woman that's in power. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. So this is what it's all about, guys. They don't want a black person in power. They don't want a woman in power. You know, you've been seeing that yet. And so on, so young. Everybody gotta understand, God give you what you can have. That's what God gives you. He ain't gonna give you more than that. As long as you can stay the course, fight the fight, and keep going, that's what we're going to do here at Thornton Township. And we've been doing a doggone good job.
Clerk, what are you doing? You're out of order. You out of order. Did I call the roll? Did I say call the roll? I'm still speaking. You're out of order, Clerk Key. You out of order, Clerk Key. Like, stop. Y'all out of order. Everybody want to run stuff. Y'all don't run this house over here. Stop, please.
All right. So that was your super mayor, Tiffany Hinyard, blessing us with a devotional for today. All right, so about to get started here, but before I get started with our subject matter, let's talk about something real quick. Let me see here. Where am I at? All right, so remember a while back I was talking about I say, hey, listen, we possibly gonna do another one if y'all want us to tour to Ethiopia. I said Ethiopia. A lot of people say, yeah, I want to do Ethiopia. Okay, cool. So we spoke to Mr. J. Cameron. He offers Ethiopia in his company, and we made the deal. And now we have the trip coming in Ethiopia March 31 through April 9. And the way we did it, we posted it on the community tab. It's offering to everybody, but I'm going to do this just a little different this time. So in the pinned comment, if you click that, it'll take you to the free section of our website. I mean, you ain't got to sign up or nothing to be on the free section. And it'll take you right there. You can watch these. So let me show you what I'm talking about here. So this is on the free section on our website right here. And on here, you can look at and get some experience different cultures out there. What these people like to do, they come to comment sections. They like to judge their interaction with immigrants here and try to lay that on the feet of people on the continent. And I've said by going, some people, it's not all, they're doing that mess here, they're not representatives of the people over there, because how is it every time I go, it's all love. It's all respect for black Americans, right? Nothing but respect for black Americans. Everything that we do, like from everybody I've talked to, has been nothing but love and respect. In every country I went to, even when I went to Turkey, it was nothing but love and respect for black Americans. So if Turkish people was having respect for black Americans, and when I went to France and I was talking to people over there, and just even a layover at the airport, they was having respect for black Americans. You know what I'm saying? So we got, no matter what these people say, we are respected outside this country. So don't let these people that never left their city, never left their state, they never even seen a lot of America. They always talking about America, but they haven't even seen it. Don't let them kind of people talk you out of traveling. You understand what I'm saying? That's kind of like somebody who's trying to make money and listen to somebody broke, trying to talk them out of trying to make money. Of course, the legal way and the moral way. Don't let people talk you out of anything, whether it's on the internet or in your personal life. It could be your friends or your family. Why you want to go do that? Well, you can't fathom it because you stuck in your life. You don't want to go nowhere. You want to, fine, stay there. I'm not telling you nothing. I'm going to go, like, what kind of life is that? And this is how I feel. And it's a lot of black people feel this way. What kind of life is that you never left your city, never left your state? You never even seen the United States, and for sure you ain't left it. You spent your whole life in the same neighborhood, the same city.
I know people like that.
And then you on your deathbed, you didn't see nothing.
Right.
I'm sorry, I didn't want. When it's time, when I know it's the Lord about to take me, I know it's about my time. I want to say, I done done everything that I felt in my heart I needed to do. I done seen all I wanted to see. So but I say, and I'm talking to those people, right? Those people. Anytime we do this, it's not for the people that don't want to leave. Please stay where you at, please. Okay. Yes, Joe. Misery loves company. They get so threatened, and some of them get so like giddy and jolly if something bad happens to a black American in any other country, especially an African country. Oh Lord, don't let them get scammed. Oh, you see, why are you going over there? I just saw a story. You know what I need to do? Just thought about that. I need to cover scams. They think it's so funny or whatever, but when they start suffering, when they go through things, it's not funny then. We need to change laws, we need to do all this crap. And notice they don't waste their time talking about any other group. None. Only black people. That's why I say it is, can these folks be obsessed with another group? Like, look, I think y'all have taken enough time obsessing over black people. It's time for y'all to move to the East Indians. It's time for y'all to move to the Asians, the Arabs. It's time for y'all to move to the Hispanics. It's time for y'all to move to the Pacific Islanders. It's time for y'all to move, spread that obsession elsewhere. Make videos about everybody else. Look, my thing is, when some of y'all was like, why he say 1,000 years? And I said 1,000 years because that's how long it will take, really, to get them out, to get them to focus on somebody else. Black folks got to be away. But this is the problem. Black people, no matter where we go, they follow. Give you an example. You can say, okay, I'm going to go to land in America that's just flat land. It's cheap land. I'm going over here. We're going to buy this land. We're going to clear it off. We're going to make our state right here. We're going to build a community right here, way away from the city. We right here doing our own thing as black Americans. We building everything. We're going to rebuild Black Wall Street in this desolate place, just like they did Black Wall Street. Black Wall Street wasn't built in the city. Black Wall Street was built way out in Indian territory, right? Native American territory.
Hey guys, I am back.
back with another one, and this is probably going to be one of the best
Native American territory. It wasn't built in a city. They had took land and said, oh, that land ain't a piece of crap. Black folks could have that land. And our people took that land and made something beautiful out of it. And really, if you talk about following the path of the ancestors, that's really what we should be doing. We can't be in the cities where everything's gentrified and all of that. If you want cheaper land, then you got to go away from the cities. I'm talking about way away from the cities. If you want cheaper homes, you got to go way away from the cities. It's just bottom line. I had a person had made a comment one time saying, oh no, we still got homes in America that's $150,000, but people don't want to move over there where they at. They don't want to move to where the cheaper real estate's at. They want to stay in the cities where they're paying $5,000 a month in rent. But maybe they can go to a city maybe an hour or two away and actually have rent that's almost kind of affordable. That's really what it is. The city, they're trying to really price people out the cities. So even if we went and like they got even plots of land here in Texas. I mean, Texas got so much land, it's crazy. That's for sale, and I'm talking about acres that's for sale, and it wouldn't be even much of nothing for, like say, if we actually had a group of black people that was on code, even if you had about 20 black people that was on code, and I'm talking about 20 black, let me say 20 black families, let me say that, because you can't really build right without families. You need men, women, children to actually build. I say give me 20 flat families. And I'm talking about 20 families that make good for themselves, because you got to have income. You can't just say all can come. No, in order to build something, you got to start with people with the resources to build. Then once it's built, then you can bring people in that just need to plug into the community. But let's say you take 20 people who makes $100,000 to $150,000 a year, who can afford to say, yeah, let's invest X amount of dollars. Let's say all everybody in the family, all year, hey, can we afford to invest $1,000 a month, $2,000 a month, and just do this as a collective, right? And it's right, it's not scammy or nothing like that. No, I'm not saying I'm doing anything. I don't play with nobody's money. I don't like that kind of pressure. But I'm just saying if a family, I'm talking about a family that's a family. I'm not talking about strangers. Got together and did something like that, right? You can actually do very well, even right here in Texas, build your own land. They even got certain cities in America that's for sale, and that's not a whole lot of money. You can have your own city if you want to, but you're not going to be in Houston. You're not going to be in Dallas. You're not going to be in Atlanta. Even Georgia. I was watching a show about Georgia. Georgia actually has a lot of land, and if you get outside of Atlanta and get out, there's some things, and I'm not talking about the surrounding areas either. I'm not talking about Sandy Springs and all them places like that. I'm talking about way out, things start going down in price. But even if we did that, these people will follow us. Just like on Black Wall Street, they said at the time, black people, you can't be around white people. You cannot, right? So you need to go way over there. So black people say, okay, fine. We're going to go over here. And every time they tell black people to go over here and they say, oh, they out there doing their thing, whatever, they always got to go check what we're doing. Even when you say we can't be around you, go over there. We don't want to see you. Even when we do that, here you come. Here you come. And it's not that we're inviting you. It's not that we're calling you. You're going to show up. That's been our whole thing. Black folks go to church in the 50s, 60s, 40s, whatever, and here they come harassing black people at their churches. Their churches was nowhere near their neighborhoods. Anything black people had, we was under segregation. Now, segregation, if you look at it, if you stuck to the rules of segregation, there's no reason for the folks to be interacting with black people. There's no reason for them to even be in the black communities. None. But every time you look up, they was in the black communities going to do dirt. Or what they don't like to talk about, what about those males in their community? They used to ride around looking for black female victims so they can all violate her. That was constantly happening. Constantly happening. But they don't like to talk about that. they want to lie and say black men, they the one that like to violate. Oh, that's them. But when you got a documented history of them running around doing this to black women and girls constantly. Wait. Hold on. Mississippi Mud. Let me read this comment. Like Americans would cause a problem when we visit. There. But the story of a black woman scamming about 50 to 75 other black people out of a cruise, scamming them. They're all supposed to go on the Carnival cruise, and they got scammed by this woman right here in America. Their own sister scamming them. But if that mess would have happened in freaking Ghana somewhere, you see, them Africans, like, bro, we got people scamming in our own culture. Bro, scamming is wrong. I don't care if the Africans doing it or we doing it. You act like we perfect and we run around here don't scam. Man, we got plenty of black folks scamming. Credit card scams. They even got women that love to date scammers. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I think I need to start covering that. Scams. So y'all can not come to my channel with that. You go to other people's channel lying about scams. There's a lot of scams that happen right here. Now, is land scams happening here? I don't know, because of the laws a little bit tighter than the land scamming, but a scam is a scam. You know, you don't like immigrants, so yep, we got to go ahead on and take your video down. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, but that video was on TikTok. It really was. And then what I don't understand is, real quick, this video is not going to be a long video at all. And I want to get y'all take on this real quick. Now, he says, here's my ID officer, 4 sets of 6. Right? Now, this is supposed to be workouts for black people. And this is what they're doing. Now, we don't make videos like this. We don't. You know, we don't do workout videos talking about school shooters and all of that stuff, right? We don't do that. Not at all. Let's continue. Running from the cops. 4 sets of 30 seconds. And they think this is funny. But if we start roasting them and start doing videos like this with them, they'll cry foul. They'll cry hate speech. They'll cry, you know, oh, you're anti-white. They'll cry all this situation, right? And this was on TikTok, y'all. But when black people talk about good stuff on TikTok or the right thing, black people are being heavily censored on TikTok. Black people's views are being throttled on TikTok. Let's continue. Okay, snatch the purse, you know, until failure. But yeah, this is on TikTok. And this wasn't looked at as any kind of, you know, hate speech whatsoever. I mean, looked at, hey, it's great. See, TikTok is just as guilty as these other platforms of allowing anti-black racism on there. But let you talk about someone that's, you know, from the Jewish community or anything like that on YouTube, Facebook, whatever, and you say something, if you was anti-Semitic, your page is gone, your monetization is gone, all that's gone, real quick.
There's a settlement now, put it up full mass. A teen who was arrested, handcuffed by a cop unlawfully reaches a settlement. I'm taking you to Bridgewater Township, New Jersey Police Department. They came under fire 2 years ago after officers handcuffed a black teen named Zaid Hussein. Mr. Hussein was at Bridgewater Commons Mall. They have settled the lawsuit with his family, reports say. Viral video had captured the incident that began with an altercation between the young Hussein and and a lighter complected teen at the local mall in February. This was in 2022. The then 14-year-old said the conflict started when the other teen, who was 15 years of age, of Colombian and Pakistani descent, started bullying his friend. This is a 7th grader. When police responded to the area, 2 Bridgewater police officers tackled the young Hussein and placed him in handcuffs. The other team was able to sit on a nearby bench and watch from the sideline. We saw that right here. Hussein told ABC 7, quote, "The male officer put his knee in my back, and then he started putting me in cuffs. Then the female officer came over and put her knee on my upper back too, and started helping him put cuffs on me while he was just sitting down on the couch watching the whole thing. After the scuffle, neither team was charged, but both boys were banned from the mall for 3 years. The incident garnered national attention and widespread criticism. It was called an example of biased policing, set off protests throughout the township. Black leaders demanded that the officers be relieved from their duties after they were exposed. The police department tapped the Somerset County Prosecutor's Office to assist in the investigation. Hussein's family filed a lawsuit against the city alleging that he was discriminated against and subjected to a hostile environment based on race. At a press conference last week, the family did not disclose the amount it received from the Bridgewater Township. Court documents show the sum a little over $150,000, but the family said to receive $113,000 after attorney fees. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump said at the conference, per the reports, quote, "Officers far too often see our black children as predators. We have visual proof of officers doing these nefarious things, and yet nothing happens to them." So let's go to the chief of police for Bridgewater. His name is John B. Mitzak. Per ABC 7, the NAACP says they wanted this confrontation to be a teachable moment, hoping the Bridgewater police would acknowledge their mistake, but that did not happen. It only led to more mistrust between cops and the community. Attorney Crump echoed the same sentiments, adding, "They scoffed at it, almost as if Hussein doesn't matter." Per NJ.com, local officials and State Attorney General Matthew Platkin's office investigated the officer's response to the incident. Disputes over those reviews have reportedly made the status of any disciplinary action the officers may face unclear. As ABC 7 reported, Hussein and his family joined the NAACP in calling for more transparency and better training, and called the state attorney general to release his report on the incident. The NAACP said they are going to start a training program of their own for police officers. They're going to monitor the number of officers in the state of New Jersey that take that program. That's at least some forward thinking to provide an opportunity to certify community focused police officers or police departments to take this kind of training. Execution is always very important. I'm glad that there's some level of penalty for what these cops did. I remember the video. They went in, immediately decided that the darker complected individual was the absolute aggressor. They were completely incorrect in that assessment, but that did not stop them. Even when other peers said, no, you have it wrong. You have it wrong. They never corrected course. Rayvana, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I remember covering the story when it first came out on TYT. I can't believe it's been 2 years, and I'm glad that the family has gotten a little bit of justice. I'm really disappointed in the police department for not, being clear with what actions, if any, they took against these officers, and it's, disappointing to see that the relationship between the community and the department is broken down even further, although having seen that video multiple times, I fully believe it, because the violence and force with which they took down that child and then handcuffed him and pinned him to the ground. I mean, the furniture is being, moving all across the room, being thrown across the room with how violent they tackled him. And, they were kneeling on his upper back while they handcuffed him. And what was really telling about that video was that the lighter skinned, the white passing person involved in the fight, who we know to be the instigator, sat and waited to be handcuffed, because you could tell that he knew that he was the person responsible for instigating this. He sat there and waited, and the officers never even take a second to consider that this person, this individual might be even equally responsible for starting the fight. It was as though, this was a training video to identify police racism, and they had to make an exaggerated example. That's how clear and obvious the racism was in.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my channel, Runaway Slave. I would like to give a big up to all my subs and supporters who like, comment, and share the videos. In addition, a special big up to all those who purchased my masterpiece, my book, The N-Word is No Secret in the Service. Big up to you all. Let's cook. Okay, so for people who follow this channel, you know that I recently created a video about a young brother in the state of Georgia by the name of Trevante Jamal Schubert Helton, 29 years of age. This brother was found in the state of Georgia hanging off a tree in some area where they have trails or like woods or like a wildlife type area that people frequent when they walk and go hiking and things like that. They found him there hanging in the tree. I don't believe it at all. And I went into how this young man was in a bad situation, how you could tell it was almost like, he was almost like a sitting duck for something like this to happen to him. He was in a predominantly white place. He was around white people all day. And clearly he was in the culturally white activities. He had the white girlfriend. But after looking into this situation more about this young brother, I started to feel even worse for him after I made this video. Now, in the video, I don't regret anything in the video because whether it was him or somebody else, it still is what it is. And the purpose is so that other people can see these videos, other people who are his age, older, younger, who can see these videos and see the mistakes or some of the moves that the victim was making so that they don't repeat these acts and these things happen to them. So, as far as the video is, I don't feel bad about it, but I started feeling bad for him when I looked into his situation a little bit more. And then I realized this brother didn't even have a chance. He didn't even have a chance, people, So like as far as like the decisions and, making the right decisions and making the right moves, his mind was messed up. He didn't have a chance. I noticed somebody in the comment in that video, and this was actually a white person. Somebody in the comment section, and his girlfriend's now deleted social media. First I want to say, and his girlfriend's now deleted social media. I noticed that there was a comment, and somebody said, "Did you tell his dads?" D-A-D-S, okay, more than one. So when I seen it, I'm like, dads. So I'm like, okay, whatever, man. I got to go ahead and do this and put this out, do the work. So I seen that and I just kept it moving. Then in the comment section here, on the video that I created on this channel about him, this somebody in the comment section, this was somebody who knows him. I think this is a white person, okay? This person left a comment and it said, he was adopted by 2 white men when he was 8. They divorced when he was 14 and then he was homeless. His fathers did not take good care of him. TJ was a wonderful man. He does not know his immediate family. He has not had his dog Tank for some time because I was wondering where his dog was because I could tell when I looked into stuff with him, I noticed how much he loved his dog and his dog loved him. So I was like, man, I feel sorry for that dog, But then this person's comment from somebody who knew him, then after that, I was like, hold up. Now it makes sense now as to why somebody left that comment saying, did you tell his dads? So this person in the comment section on the video on this channel, they confirmed it, and then I verified it, you know what I mean? TJ, or Trevante Jamal, as they call him, he was adopted by 2 white men. Now it all makes sense. Now the troubles in his life, it makes more sense. The detachment from his culture, the confusion, and being in a situation where he can actually be, put in the tree or hung in the tree or even worse, doing something to himself. I don't believe that he hung himself in that tree. That's me. That's what I believe. I don't believe he did that. I don't even have to go down there and see the whole thing, you know what I'm saying, or do the whole investigation. I don't believe that in this white racist Georgia town right here that he did this to himself. So I had to go verify this comment. What the person said, I did my checks, And I like, okay, wow, now it all makes sense. Now I really started to feel bad for him being detached from his culture, you know, and I say, you know what, man, he never had a chance. In my opinion, I don't think TJ or Trevante had a chance. I can't think of a way or a scenario where he had a chance. He didn't have his black family for whatever reason, you know. He was in a foster care or orphanage. I don't know what the story behind that is. That alone right there would already traumatize somebody for the rest of their lives. Some people can handle it. Some people are strong enough and they go ahead and live a positive life. But some people, something like that, they never get over it. Everybody's different. Everybody's built different. They got different, you know, DNA, different cells, different genes, all that, you know, different mindset. And who knows the story behind that? Who knows the story behind where his black family was at? And as if not having a family is not enough. To make matters worse, he was adopted by a white male couple. That's where the name Schubert Helton comes from. Those are the names of his two white dads. So we already know how hard it is when a black child is adopted by a white family. You know, but there was a story, I was actually going to cover this. There was a story covered in the Washington Post a few years ago about transracial adoptees and how much they struggle with many issues. And this is what part of that article said. This is what it said. Transracial adoptees, which are people raised by adopted parents of a different race or ethnicity, are experiencing their own racial reckoning as the nation confronts its historical scars. Most of these adoptions involve white families and children of color who, now as adults, are reflecting on the racism they experienced that their parents couldn't see and rarely talked about. Classmates' racist comments about their hair and eyes were dismissed as harmless curiosity. America's racial dynamics were explained in the language of colorblind idealism. This is all true, and I'm going to cover that a little bit later, you know, a video on this channel about that topic alone. But, you know, it's a known fact that this is traumatizing, regardless of how it looks when a black child is adopted by white people. Now, I do understand that sometimes it may be necessary, depending on the situation, you know, it may be necessary. Sometimes, you know, things could be a certain way and it might be like, you know what, these people are at least decent. This black child is better off there to possibly have a life where they have the basic things that they need, a house, food, education, medical care, things like that. Of course, the situation is always better with a black family. But if there's no other option, you know what I mean? I'm not going to go super extreme and say, hey, nah, leave these kids at these foster homes forever. Nah, you know, I get it. But even in those situations where these black children go in these situations and they have all these things that they need, they even getting, you know, a little bit of that trickled down white privilege, not really, but, you know, due to the fact that their parents get it, they get some perks that a black person typically won't get. Even with all that, this black child is still suffering, even if they don't realize it at the time. Okay, they're still suffering. They have identity issues, you know, identity crisis issues. They're dealing with racial battle fatigue that they eventually learn to cope with, and they just deal with it to where they become immune to racial battle fatigue. It's like nothing to them. You know, they don't know who they are. You know, they're raised a lot of times not knowing nothing about their culture. It tears your mental up. Okay, now in TJ or Trevante Jamal situation, as if being a transracial adoptee is not enough, let's factor in the fact that this dude was being raised by two white men, two dudes who thought they were married. And I did notice in a lot of pictures that, you know, that I seen with TJ or Trevante, a lot of pictures I seen him in, he looked kind of high, you know, he looked high. And now I'm like, damn, no wonder why. If I was raised in a house with two men, two barbarians trying to act like they married, you know, I probably want to be high all the time too, man. You know, just knock me out of my reality, you know. I can't even imagine how his childhood was. And you probably can't either, man. People might look at that like, oh, it's just two men. Nah, man. Nah. This is barbaric, people. So you have being raised by white people is one, and then we have two men here, no woman in the house. There's a man in the house acting like a woman. He's raised with two weirdos who are so arrogant that instead of going out and having a child with a woman, they could have did that whole thing. They went and brought TJ in and made his life so much worse by bringing him into this barbaric union just so they can go show off to people in their little community. These dudes, they really didn't care. These dudes are arrogant, they're selfish, and they only cared about how they can look around other people, at the time, at that point in their life. Because it didn't last long. Like dude said, the person said, at age 14 he was homeless, because the parents got the two dudes, they went and got a divorce or whatever. These dudes were not thinking about a black child here, These people that adopted him, they're never going to understand TJ or Travante's people. They're here, they're in his house, confusing him, subjecting him to some terrible things, yo. This is not okay, people. And I don't see why these dudes, like people like this Hubert and Shelton, you two guys, if y'all get this video, what I would ask you dudes is, why didn't y'all go on like the Appalachian Trail somewhere and get one of them kids who didn't have any parents, Go to in one of them towns where the people, have toilets outside their houses and they're just waiting on the government to build a prison there so that they can have a job. One of them type nasty towns. Why didn't you go there and get one of them kids? There's a lot of them there. There's a lot of white kids that look like you right there. You know them towns, like all them towns they have where they build a prison there. The people don't have nothing until they build a prison,
right.
And then they go lock more black people up to put them in this prison so that these people can have a job. Why didn't y'all go to one of them towns or something like that? One of them little Appalachian Trail towns out there where the people are sitting around with mullets and, laying on the dirt and all this other stuff, plucking fleas and lice off their hair. Why didn't you go there, man? People who at least need a parent that looks like you. You could have even got a woman to have a baby for you. Y'all could have did that. Y'all could have went and got a woman, just like the girls do in the rainbow community. They go get a dude. They go to the joint and get a dude to put the specimen in them. You all could have went and had a woman do this for you.
Right. Right.
I mean, why'd you have to do this? That's just for y'all. That's just for y'all if you're listening, or anybody who might be thinking to do something like this. But there's so many white men in this community that think like these two guys, selfish. They just want to get a kick out of having a little black boy with them. You almost like it's a flex or a status thing, and you really ain't even want him, yo. You look at having a black child like having a teacup Yorkie or something like that, And this couple, this Schubert Helton people, these people wasn't even the clean, like the the liberal yuppie type of white people who you like, okay, yeah, he with them white people, she with them white people, but they lost and they abusing her, but the child got the basics, the black kid is the only white black person in this all white school type stuff. You know what I'm saying? That kind of like, nah, man. In a private school, like you going to like Sidwell Friends or something. The school that in DC. I mean, come on, man. Listen, to all you white guys from this LG, you lizards in this community, don't do this no more, man. Don't go adopting a black boy. Don't go adopting a black girl. Go to your people and get one of them kids that you can get, that you can connect to. You cannot connect to this black child, okay? You're going to detach them from their culture, and especially if you're going to have them living in this nastiness and filth and this trauma and this confusion that you guys were doing in his house. You know what I'm saying? Little kids pick up on things like that. A little boy should not be living with two men. Look, it's very traumatizing. Listen, if just for a woman and a boy, just think a woman and a boy alone. Just think a woman and a boy. When a woman raises a boy, right, just using a bathroom in front of the boy or walking around naked, like if a woman walks around naked in front of her son, or she goes and she uses the bathroom in front of him doing those woman habits and stuff, or even if you see like women, they walk around naked around their sons, they've already proven that alone can turn a little boy into a homosexual or a womanizer with no sex discipline. Like, one of those guys just go out and just put his thing in anything for his whole life. That alone, just from a woman, who's not even thinking and being careless, using a bathroom and walking around her little son naked, that alone can turn a little boy into a homosexual or a man who has no sexual discipline. So what do you think two barbarians sleeping in the same bed can do to a young man? What do you think that could do to a young man? You see two dudes walk in a bedroom every night, roll over, and one of them clicking off the lights and all this other stuff and hopping in the bed, probably wrapping their head up or something. I don't know. Yo, we can't even imagine what that does to your mind as a kid. You knocking on the door and two man voices say, come in. Do you know what that might do to the mind of a boy who has to deal with that for so many years? You know what I'm saying? These are like small routine things, but it gets into the psyche of a boy, man. It destroys him. And you got these arrogant people like this Schubert Helton. You dudes, you didn't even care. All you thinking about is chasing your desires, because your whole life and being is grounded in your desires, and that's it. It's not about no love, so cut it out. Because you ain't show Trevante no love, man. It's just small stuff like that. This brother Trevante Jamal, TJ, he didn't have a chance at all. I couldn't imagine being in that situation, And also I noticed in these family pictures, people, I'm looking at these family pictures. Trevante, TJ, he wasn't even benefiting from getting some of that white privilege trickle down as being adopted by white people. Man, they had him on some bummy stuff, yo. You know how, like, if a black kid is sometimes adopted by white people, yeah, they're dealing with all this mental confusion, but they might be getting these perks. You see the picture, oh, look, damn, he here, he there, they vacation, they going there, he go to this super opie white school and this good school and all this other stuff. Nah, man, they had Trevante, they had TJ on some bummy stuff. Word up. I mean, in the pictures, from a little boy, he was always looking sad. He was always gloomy looking. He was never looking fresh. He wasn't getting that. He wasn't. You could tell. They had Trevante on some bummy stuff. His hair was never cut. He never had his shape up. His hair was never braided. You don't see any black friends. I seen some little black kids in one picture. I don't know where that came from. You don't see any black friends that the parents have coming over. He's only 29, people. These pictures look super old. The family doesn't appear to be friendly with black people on social media. And I'm talking all the way up to the grandmother. I checked it out, man. And you can tell that a point that Trevante, TJ was going through some self-identity, crisis state. You can see here, he's trying to fry his hair and make his hair look like he's white. Very typical, Look what y'all got. Look what y'all doing. He's here suffering. This dude is conking his head. He was only 29, yo. So in this picture, it wasn't that long ago. He's here frying his head, trying to look like y'all. This boy was suffering from racial battle fatigue so bad, resulted in self-hatred and things like that. He's trying to fit in with these white folks. He's here frying and trying to pull his hair, It's crazy, I don't see anything in these pictures, man. It would have been typical if at some point in his life we seen him with some, braids in his hair, like some night, like he wants to get braids, something culturally that's cool that black kids are doing. I didn't see none of that in his picture. He didn't have like no type of cool black haircut, nothing. Nothing. You could tell in his pictures he's dealing with identity crisis, trying to make himself fit in and look like these white folks. It wasn't his fault. They had Trevante on some bummy stuff. Schubert Helton, your whole family, wherever y'all at, y'all had him on some bummy stuff and y'all abusing. People, it's not his fault, man. It wasn't his fault. You think that these white men would have sat down and said, okay, listen, we got a black son. We're going to make sure we take him to town. We're going to try to do the black thing, or take him to get his hair braided. Let's try to do some cool black stuff or whatever. You know, they didn't at least try to fit in. You know how sometimes you see white people, they try to relate to a situation, you know, and they come out looking funny, but at least they tried. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
You see them in these pictures,
Mm-hmm.
you like, okay, they're just trying to fit into the situation. You can tell it just don't match, but they at least trying. These people didn't even do this with Trevante, man. They had this young man on some bummy stuff from jump. You could look at his clothes, yo. You know what I mean? He was not special to them in any way. They did not try to put any time into them. They were just so focused on living their little lizard lifestyle.
Yeah, I remember I mentioned in the video that I dated a biracial young woman, and she was raised similar to like Devontae, and she was biracial. She had a black father and her mother that was white. And the thing about it was, I showed past pictures, she would do this every time, and she had a wig on her head. And on one of my videos, I showed that, and she was traumatized. And even her mom tried to put her out there to do some work. You know what I'm talking about. But she stayed down in this little town called Corbin, Kentucky. And, you know, you can only imagine being a half-black child, what kind of language that they were using in front of her when she was a child. And by being a biracial, a race-mixed child, she caught so much hell, man. And it literally, when she told me her story of life, it brought me to tears. Because I can only imagine what she went through. When you, like Trevante, live in that life, everything you see is in their world. And a lot of black people, and I like what he said, you know, it wasn't his fault. It's a lot of black people that live who is in transracial family or biracial. Some of them live like that. And it's like they disconnected. They take on their demeanor of the environment out there. And I've seen it personally myself. And even though someone lay down with a black man or lay down with a black woman, but if they go out there among that majority crowd out there, they're going to take on that culture. They're going to see those things coming at them. They're going to be subjugated to it. One time she was sticking up for a friend, the girl I dated, and some white dudes jumped on her, calling the N-word and everything. Beat her real bad. That's what probably traumatized her, taking up for a friend. And this was in this little Kentucky town. It was, that I mentioned in the previous video, Corbin, Kentucky. And I don't know why her mother raised her down. It was another interracial couple. And I'm thinking to myself, why would she raise someone down in a little town like this? You know, and it's predominantly white. And there's some white people who are just clueless. Like, oh, it's just someone just, we stand up. No. It's bad when you one of the few interracial couples down there. When you, it's different if you go to come here like to Columbus or go to Dallas or go to some bigger city. You can't stay in a small town. It's even worse. I'm trying to tell you. At least they see other children, other different ethnic groups of children that look similar. And that would be the best thing to do if you were transracial to race-mixed children. You can't raise them in an all-white town. I'm sorry, you can't do that. Because even though they're going to think like them, but the reality of it is, when they get into a little disagreement with their friends, they're going to call them out their name. That's the truth. And they say stuff that you wouldn't even imagine. And they say stuff so boldly. They'll talk about black people in front of them, part of their heritage. That they know that person's part black. Some of them do that. Make racial jokes. Some of them, you need to understand. So that's what goes on out there. Or they tell, oh no, look, don't see no color. No, I don't see. I'll be black, white, whatever. They say that, but when you live next to somebody and you're under their roof, It's a whole different ball game. So, and that's why I made a video. If you're an interracial couple, go to an interracial setting, and so they can see other kids, white and black. And is it going to be a situation? Yeah, but at least they have somebody they're gonna make more friends, and someone could be able to connect with them, because somebody out of that group is gonna understand, because in an mixed interracial setting. But when you go out in these little small country towns that is predominantly white, no, I wouldn't do it. It's worse. It is much worse, and they mind is like that. I've been in these little towns. That's why I said I'm a kind of person. I've been in the city, I've been in the country, in a rural area, in a suburb. I'm telling you from experience. I gotta tell you the story. I dated the one young lady that was white with blonde hair, and her daughter was a pretty mixed girl, and she raised her down in this little. She was staying with her brother at the time in Lancaster, but even though I said okay, you're not going out and meet them, but they didn't even want to make eye contact with me. I'm not the kid's father, but it's like, and I just came here just to see where she stayed at, and baby, man, let me tell you, I was invisible. You can tell these folks didn't approve of that stuff, and I could only imagine what was going on in that household. There's a lot of things that people kind of play it off, but they know what they do, and she was white. She had already. She's a single mother with a child of mixed race, and this was in Lancaster, Ohio, because I remember living in Cincinnati at the time. And I met her, and how I met her was through the chat line. I know. But yeah, people don't get it. They just don't get it. But if you please bring them in, and don't take them out there in that predominantly white area. Don't do that. Don't do that. The people out there. Them looks you get. And some of the people don't approve of it. You might get somebody, and then to go to school out there, oh my goodness. In the little rural towns, ooh, no. I wouldn't want to be a biracial kid in a rural area. Heck, no, don't be a black kid. Heck no. You're gonna get it worse. You might just get it worse than you do in the city. Fact. And so. And I just don't understand, because we're peaceful, and you're funny, and you might have one person that might be open-minded, but you out there with people that's going to say something, and they're going to come with the jokes, they're going to come with the satire, they're going to say things that's going to be very offensive, and you confront them about it. No, they go to like it's a whole different demonic. But like they did not go into denial. So she's absolutely right. But you see what goes on with the children. Now you see why some black people want to. You do your thing, I do my thing, like Phil said. Because like the jealousy and animosity has gone to a different level. And this is history. It's like, what did these people do to you? You can't, you know what I'm saying? So, and then when the people go out there go out to these little towns like that, they get it worse. The black people, they get it worse. So, and that's America people don't want to talk about. I witnessed this myself. I've gone through myself. So yeah, you can date something, marry, have transracial kids, but know what you get yourself into, because you may not encounter but your kid may encounter through some adult that taught them that crazy mess. That's my advice. Alright then, hope you learned something from this lesson. But this is what our children are going through in the future. That's why I made this video. Because some parents don't listen to their children. This is what's going on. That's why I said it's passed from one generation to another generation. It's a spirit. It's a land. Remember I said that. Alright then, ladies and gentlemen, hope you liked this video. Like it, subscribe. Till next time I see you on the next video. Be blessed and encourage your children. And whether you're a mixed race child or a black child, you are blessed to be in this land. Don't let no one tell you that. Till next time, take care.